everybody, this is Marie and welcome to Marie's Chatty Tarot. And today we're going to be talking about eggs. Yes, eggs. Now, before we get started, please feel free to share, like, and subscribe. And for those interested, today I'm going to be talking about the Robin Hood. I'm going to be using the Robin Hood tarot deck. Pretty cool. So today we're going to be talking about the egg distribution plant that was destroyed a few days ago. I don't know if you guys heard, for those who are not here in America, there was this processing center that that processes eggs. It's like a very it's like a commercial egg farm. It's called Hillsdale in Connecticut. It got destroyed. It was like a big plant here in America, apparently, and it got so bad that about 100 firemen had to be called in to help put down this fire. And for those paying attention, this was not the first time that food processing centers were being burned down, exploding, all of the above, since the last few months, since last year. Actually, I even did a video about it a few months ago. That, well, at that time of the video, it was about 103 food processing centers that were destroyed, burned down. So even if you're not a tinfoil hat wearer, I think at this point we can all safely assume that something is odd with all these food processing centers burning down. Now, when I asked the question about the food processing centers the last time, the card was not even entertaining about the destruction. The card was talking about, well, don't focus about the destruction, don't focus about what you're lacking. Use this opportunity to learn about about other ways to provide for yourself, to be self-sufficient. And lo and behold, a lot of people since, last year have been started being more self-sufficient, doing their own egg raising or egg backyard kitchen, chicken raising of their own eggs, so of their own chicken and eggs and stuff like that. So I don't even know if there's a proper term for this, but a lot of people have been homesteading in an urban or sort of way, or have been raising chicken in their coop in their backyard from this. And once, I guess, the companies have realized that, they have started tampering with some of the feeds, changing the formula, causing some of the eggs not to lay eggs as often as they could. So all of this, I think, is creating a stress to the system. So coming back to the present, I think the question that I wanted to ask is, in light of what's happening right now with the food processing centers being destroyed, with the egg shortage happening right now, local level, national level, I guess we want to know, what's the cause. I mean, we know that that there's clearly a force behind this, but what else the cards wants to share about the cause behind this phenomena, quote unquote. So let's go with that. What's causing the egg shortage? Who's behind it? What else the card wants to share about this? Because eggs is a very important staple in a person's diet. When I was pregnant with my girls, both times, started doing research, eggs was that one item that checked all the box: protein, choline, and what's the other one? It helps support brain function, neurological development of that fetus, of that child. And for the first trimester, I was eating eggs every day, and it does make a difference. And after my pregnancy, when I was always tired, hormonal change, I thought I was having the blues. Eating protein, mainly eggs, really helped boosting my energy so I can breastfeed and all of the above. So if eggs is being affected, a lot of people are going to get hurt from this, whether, regardless of your diet choices, because we use it for baking and everything in between. So this is a very important staple. So let's see what the cards was to share about what's causing the egg shortage right now. What else the card was to share? How about this? Because I'm curious, and I hope you're too. Okay, shuffled. Cut. First card is strength. To answer the question. Second card is Nine of Cups. A situation. Third card is the Seven of Swords for pass. Nine of Swords, present. Potential outcome, Emperor. Clarification is the Page of Pentacles. And clarification is the King of Wands. I love these cards. Okay. So it's so interesting that the way that the card decided to answer. So the first card that popped up was the Strength card. So the Strength card, you see this beautiful lady with the crown, flowers in her hair, very whimsical-ish. However, what stands her apart is the fact that she's holding that lion. So in order for you, and she's wearing all white, which represents purity, innocence. So this lady, she had to have a certain inner strength, a certain mind over matter type of feel about her, where you're able to master your basic, your baser, your primal aspect of yourself in order to rise above a particular situation. So it's as if the card is trying to call on us to use this opportunity to build up your character, to get stronger, and not to fall into panic, not to fall into despair, and not to succumb into your primal urge. Because when you're seeing all those news coming out about fires of food processing, a lot of people will succumb to the pressure and panic. But the card is urging us, emphasizing on using this time of building your character, being patient, and not fall into fear, not fall into despair, not fall. This is where it's a moment in time to really test your mental, so to speak, to rise above the situation that is presenting itself right now, and use this opportunity with that Nine of Wands to create a better future, to create, to bring about change. Because this card, Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups, you can see this gentleman look very happy with himself, almost prideful, almost bragging, almost, he's like happy. uh, all his desires, he's emotionally fulfilled with all those cups in the background. So it's as if the card is saying not only to be strong, to rise above uh, uh, whatever is going on right now, and use this opportunity to drive change. Use this as a fuel, emotional fuel, to to bring about the type of world, the type of change that you would want to see. You know, uh, being proactive in that sense. So don't fall into the negativity. Don't focus on that, but use it to rise above. Use it to redefine the world that you're looking for by starting from within, emotionally. By emotionally staying in your power, and broadcast the type of world that you want to see, because this is not what we want. We want a world of abundance. We want a world where everything is where we can provide for ourselves, we can provide for our family, where there is not this constant worry. So we can start manifesting, you know. Now, in the past, clearly there has been some funny business going on with that Seven of Swords. So this Seven of Swords is this guy who's went to this encampment, broad daylight, brazenly stealing those swords. Now, swords is thoughts and words. So apparently there has been some funny business. Uh, uh, a group of people or particular uh, 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 cabal is really trying to get away with something. So this is usually a strategy card. It's usually up to no good type of card depending on the situation. But this here definitely is a situation where somebody or group of people are not acting for the greater good. So they're basically doing some shenanigans in the background to create some stress, to create some a push, because there is a narrative out there, of the eating bugs. So in order for a person to eat bugs, you will have to destroy the other options that are available currently. So once that current option is no longer available, then what's left to eat? It would be the bugs. So now, because of those funny business happening in the background by a certain group that we will not name too often, a lot of people are worried. A lot of people are becoming aware that, hey, there is a problem going on here, and there's a lot of issues happening. Uh, Simultaneously, that worries a person. Again, beside the eggs, there's also finances, budgets, economics, layoffs, inflation, gas. I mean, there's so many issues that worries a person simultaneously. It's a lot of people are having doubts, possibly at this point, about the administration. They're having doubts about whether they can make ends meet. So this is creating a lot of worry, because eggs is something that everybody uses, no matter your walk of life, no matter your socioeconomic background. This is something that everybody uses, you know, and even if you are on a plant-based diet, um, a lot of people use eggs as a way to keep up with their protein, because not everybody can do a fully plant-based diet. Now, so yes, there is a lot of worry right now around the egg shortage, the egg price hike, because in my area prices are about $6.99, almost $7. If you look, if you're trying to buy a dozen of eggs, which is unheard of. Um, Now, as a potential outcome, the Emperor shows up. Now, usually the Emperor, for me, the Emperor reveals itself as a law and order card for me. Now, but this is a more action based type of card. Uh, this card, once, in order for a society or a village or a country to come to be, there has to be some type of law, some type of order in place. There has to be a foundation, and it's usually the masculine energy that propels that. Because usually the masculine energy creates, builds. Uh, uh, there's a need of order for from that male energy. And usually the Emperor for me is law and order. It's as if to tell you that things will work things itself out. And I think it's probably gonna come from the people, the homesteaders, the small farmers. I think they're gonna really step up. And I think we've seen it, because I don't know if you guys have saw this lady who seems to be a farmer slash homesteader slash urban prepper, or all the above. She was mentioning that for a while now, she noticed that the feed that she'd be giving her chickens uh, 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 were probably causing her chicken not to lay eggs. And a lot of people be talking about it. And it seems like after some research that those big companies that were providing the feed changed their formulas. Oh, sorry. So that tells you that there is a correlation or connection that might have to be investigated in the future. So again, with that Emperor card, that tells me that I think we're gonna have to be proactive in finding local solution, either from smaller farmers, local farmers, or homesteaders, or uh, um, or backyard chicken coop collectors, and so forth. To kind of balance things out, because clearly those big commercial processing companies, it's not working out for us. So interestingly enough, the other card that shows up, the first card that shows up for clarification, is the Page of Pentacle. So the Page of Pentacle is usually, using this time, this presents a new opportunity, a new beginning to seek out a different avenue. Because Pentacles is always about, it's a message, it's a signal for you to pay attention about something, to really examine that situation, start piecing the puzzles together to look at the bigger picture. So this is an interesting card, because Pentacle deals with resources, it deals with anything tangible. And egg shortage is a tangible thing that everybody can relate to, no matter your background. So this is an opportunity to really pay attention about what's really happening. Take the signal, accept the signal, the message from the universe, the sign that, really pay attention this time. So this is yeah. So the King of Wands. The King of Wands is usually my Mr. T card. So I find it interesting that it shows up. But I think in this particular sense, that we're gonna have to motivate ourselves. I think this is an opportunity for us to really, because all Wands is about motivation, passion, inspiration. Use this as an opportunity to really inspire us, and to propel us to find a different way. Again, local, being self-reliant, because this card, all Wands, fire signs, about authenticity, about really, letting that creative juice really flow. So this is a time more than ever in being creative, in finding a different alternative, a different way of doing things, that doesn't have anything to do with those processing plants, with those corporations. So it's as if, even the message is pretty much the same, from my other reading about those food processing plants. Same thing with the eggs. It's about finding different ways, using this opportunity of gathering your strength. Use this to be creative, to propel yourself in a new direction. Yes, there are some funny business, but don't stay too boggled down with the worries of the now. Use this time, seek other alternative. Things is gonna work out, but you're gonna have to be proactive. And King of Pentacles. I think there's probably going to be more information about this with the King of Pentacle, because King of Pentacle for me, it could be a successful person, but I don't think in this particular situation it's about a person in particular, but I think it's more about more information, more evidence is gonna come out. They're about either the shenanigans that's happening, and that's more revelation coming out. And I think with that four of sword, that's gonna wake up people, because the four of sword is a card of retreat, a card of reflection, a card of meditation, deep meditation. I think a lot of people who have been asleep, who have been um, um, uh, really not paying attention as much on what's been going on, I think that's really good. I think that's going to force them, propel them to really reflect, really, even if they're not able to voice what but they're going to start, their subconscious and their conscious mind is going to start, you know what, there's something not right going on here. And I think you're probably going to need to think about it a little bit more than usual and really come to the realization that there's something going on there. So, wow. Okay. So, advice. What advice is there? Any more advice that the universe would like to share about the egg shortage going on right now? Because, it's yes, we can use this time to be creative, to seek out older alternative, but it also feels that there has been a lot of attacks on different front. So let's see what else the universe wants to share advice-wise about this egg shortage. Because I think I've heard there's a lot of birds were killed, destroyed, because of the bird flu that was circulating not too long ago. So that might be a contributing factor. So again, assault on all fronts. So let's see what other advice the cards wants to share. Okay, I think it's done. Oh, King of Swords. 5 of Swords situation. 10 of Swords, pass. 5 of Pentacle, present. 6 of Cups, potential outcome. Queen of Cups, clarification. And World, clarification. So the first card that you see is the King of Swords. So this card is telling me, because we're asking for advice, additional advice, this card is telling me that a lot of more information is going to come out. So all swords are thoughts and words and information, and it could be either investigations, either lawsuits, either DA involvement, to look into what's been happening. either citizen journalists digging up, finding information. Either way, there's going to be like a lot of information coming out about what's been happening, about the uh, uh, um, egg shortage right now. And I think we have heard about the already, but it looks like there probably going to be more information that's come out about the formula for the chicken feed that's causing them not to lay egg as much, about the bird flu, quote unquote, uh, that forced a lot of farmers to destroy their livestock. So I think there's going to be a lot more information coming out with that five of sword for the situation. Now that five of sword is usually more shenanigans happening. So all five represent conflict of sword. You can see this person who appears to be the victor, the conqueror or the winner, and there's two people who are not doing too well. So there's still going to be some funny business going on with that particular group, and there might be some more processing plant that either be destroyed or attacked or whatever you want to call it. So there's still going to be some funny business happening. And with the 10 of cups in the past, letting, I think the media is going to try to downplay as much as they can about those strings of fires happening to those uh, plants, to, or about the egg shortage in general. But it's not gonna pan out, because I think a lot of people, either realize or gonna start to realize that there is gonna be a severe shortage, uh, and that's really gonna affect a lot of people. Maybe people won't be able to buy eggs for a while, or maybe there's not gonna be enough eggs for a lot of people, and there might truly be like a severe shortage. So a lot of people won't be able to have access to eggs for maybe for a short period of time, because all of those cards that we're seeing here are minor arcana, which tells me that it's gonna be for a couple of weeks. It's gonna be, or for a few weeks, it's gonna be uncomfortable for a certain region, but it's not gonna be severe where you have no access to eggs at all. So I think things will work out, because I think maybe the small farmers uh, uh, is gonna help supply. I think maybe people will seek other alternative, because it's not only um, chicken eggs that exist. There's other type of eggs, so maybe that will open some different avenues for people. So ultimate outcome with that six of cups. Now, six of cups is a nostalgia card. It's a card of friendship. It's a card of charity, and it's always a beautiful card, like a well-meaning, friendly. Uh, this card, every time I feel it, there's like this very soft, kind energy behind it, and that tells me that in the foreseeable future, things will work itself out. I think people will really come true for one another, and really help each other. Uh, and that's a beautiful feeling that's coming through with this card. So that tells me that either on a local level, either people will share whatever they have, but things will somehow work itself out. So that's a beautiful feeling. And while all of this is happening, I think a lot of people are gonna really mature emotionally, because people is really gonna be awakened with that Queen of Cups. Um, and I don't know if you guys noticed, a lot of the cards that I'm seeing are queens and kings, as if the the people are really awake now, on an emotional, spiritual level. It's no longer the page or the knight. Now we're at a level where you're seeing the king and the queen. So that's a degree for me. That's telling me that's the level of emotional awareness people are really awake, really are paying attention to what's happening, starting to look at the, see at the pattern. And because of that, I think that's gonna propel us for a new chapter, for new change, because a lot of people are not gonna be happy with that, because they're gonna want to voice this. you know yes, the media is going to try to gloss it over, make everything look pretty and stuff like that, create and maintain the facade, but I don't think they'll be able to, because when you see the world in the deck, the world for me is always mean like the end of a chapter, beginning of another. So this tell me that, uh, with all those minor arcanas, that this is going to be a temporary setback for people. Certain places you may have to go to one or two places to find eggs, or you have to go to your local farm to find eggs, and it might be a little expensive, or you may have to go without for a couple of weeks until things regulate itself. But with that world card, because it's a major arcana tend to overemphasize things, so to let you know that, this chapter will pass and something better will come. uh Another chapter will begin, so another level up. So once you complete this chapter, this is going to be like a, uh once you pass this test, quote unquote, uh with strength and dignity, and really putting yourself forward and using this opportunity to really help one another and to pull through this, you know, yes, it's going to be uncomfortable for the next few weeks, but, things will get better, because this is a satisfaction card, to allow you to go to the next chapter, to move on from this, and two more clarification cards. So yeah, a lot of people are going to be disappointed about what's happening, and yes, obviously there's going to be some people who are still not going to want to, you know admit or see the truth. But whether they want to or not, at one point you're going to have to remove the blindfold and really, you know pay attention to what's happening. So wow, thank you guys for sticking with me to this video. For this video, I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Thank you for my viewers. Thank you, for my YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, viewers. I really appreciate you. You guys are so awesome. And please feel free to share, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.